my prayer. And that's why I think I'm so affirmed in my prayer life. When I went to Bedford, the very first time I went to Mass on Sunday, an elderly man came up to me and he said, "Are you Barbara Mercer?" And I said, "I sure am. I don't think I know who you are." And he says, "No, you wouldn't know me, but I met Sister Joan. Sister Joan Lorman was the one who invited me to be an associate." And she said, she said to me, "There's someone coming." Oh, do you need to hear that?
She must have.
Okay. I don't know, maybe it's a message for you. Anyway, when I met Sister Joan the first week, she said, "Well, tell me something about yourself. What do you like?" I said, "Well, I just came from being on the council of the St. Vincent de Paul Society in Louisville, and I like the St. Vincent de Paul Society." And I said, "I like quilting, and I like all kinds of things." I said, "I like all things related to church." In fact, when the realtor even said, "Where do you want to live?" I said, "I need to live within walking distance of the Catholic Church," because that's how I've sort of have structured my life. I like to be close. In fact, I walked to St. Leonard's from my daughter's house the other day, and online they still had it listed as Mass was at 10:30. So I mentioned it to someone there. I said, "Oh dear, now I've missed Mass." And believe it or not, one of the people who was, they don't call them ushers, hospitality ministers, said, "Well, gosh, you're here halfway through." She goes, "This can count." I'm like, "What?" I said, "Oh no, I've missed all the readings already." I said, "We're at the offertory already." And she just went, "Oh, well, you know." And I said, "Oh, well." I said, "Tell me what St. Francis of Rome has a Mass, because I know they share a priest." And she said, "Oh, they have one at 11:30. I said, "Now you're sure now?" It's 11:30 because I'm walking over there. And she said, "Yes." So I went back home, had something to drink, and then walked down to St. Francis of Rome, which is the first time I'd been there. Heavenly church. Is it beautiful? Beautiful. But I'm digressing terribly, so let me go back to my little list here. Okay, something that I felt like I had in common with Angela, and I was reading it, you know, from here and from Praying with St. Angela, which I love to do this one. She said from her youth she wanted to dedicate her life to God, but it was decades later she figured out how. And I thought, I feel very much akin to St. Angela in that respect. I wasn't sure, other than just doing whatever the next thing was in my life. I knew the Holy Spirit was guiding me because I asked Him to guide me. And it's all that background from the sisters was going to be with me. I have wonderful, wonderful, wonderful memories of my time with the Ursuline sisters. And I just feel so gifted and such joy that I've been allowed to come back and be in your presence. Sister Viola was our principal, and I loved her too. There were people who were actually afraid of Sister Viola, but I just thought she was wonderful. The other thing, at this time in my life, it said she'd like to teach and guide demoralized youth. I've seen that phrase. And I thought, who are the demoralized youth? And I thought, oh gosh, most of the youth I know are the demoralized youth. Isn't that terrible? But because of my close proximity with young people at the university, one of my classes is often the first class they take. It's first aid, safety, and CPR. And it's supposed to be a bunny class. And of course, with my Ursuline background, it can't be a bunny class. It has to be challenging. And I try to tell them that this is setting the stage, you know, for your work habits for the rest of your time in college. And several of them even later said, "Are you a nun?" And I said, "No, but thank you for that compliment." But several of them said, I can tell you're such a utilitarian type person." I said, "I'll have to go look that up because I honestly didn't know what that meant." And it's like being the most useful, the best for all. And I thought, and that is exactly what I think I learned from my teachers at Holy Trinity, is usefulness, you know, being about the business of God, not being about mischief. And a lot of young people today, they're entertained to death. They are just not taught to be useful. So I think that's my gift. I think Sister Colette's given me the time. I told her to. I said, "Give me the signal if I get too wrong." I want to carry that as part of my enacting the charism of Angela. I think St. Angela was useful in her life. And that's what I want to be. Useful, being used of God, used of the Spirit. So that's it for today. Thank you for letting me.
A very special thank you to all three of you. Sister Vincent, to you who shared your story with us, and for the wonderful 75 years that we've been in your midst. A special thanks to Barbara Trumpeter. I did not pay her. Very special thanks to Barb, and a very special thanks to our other Barbara. Thanks for the gift of your time that you spent in prayer and in praying and in spending it with us today. It's been a real gift to us also, and may we all continue to gift each other because of the spirit of St. Angela and her charism. So thanks again.